Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rohit Choudhary, and I'm the founder and CEO at Acceldata. It's my pleasure today to introduce our guest on this special podcast, Latha Subramanian, who's the SVP at GM Financial. So, Latha, welcome to the show. Looking forward to this, conversation.
Thank you for interviewing me today, Rohit.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Lata, in your position, I'm sure that one of the biggest items which must be occupying your mind space must be AI, especially generative AI. I'm sure that you had classical models and part of traditional AI already implemented, but just what you mentioned, people process technology. Do you see that there is going to be a huge convergence between different persona groups and different elements of all the things that you mentioned right now, which is integrity, governance, quality, availability of single source of truth? How do you think that generative AI is going to play a role in what you're going to roll out in the next 2 to 3 years within GM Financial? But also, if you could abstract and comment on how the industry will evolve.
Yeah, I would say that let me focus first on developer productivity, right? I think where GenAI can help in terms of data governance, data integrity, data quality, you can do a lot of things with AI in-house. For example, it can help you with metadata management, creating metadata labels. It can help you with annotating lineage information. It can help you with managing policy compliance. It can help you with anonymizing data. It can also help you with augmenting data quality, right? So those are some of the ways that you can use GenAI for data management. Uh, it can also help you with providing accelerators for your data cloud migration. If you want to increase velocity, those are some of the frameworks we are building with Agentic AI framework. So these are the things I see from an IT perspective that you can basically apply Gen AI towards. From an organization, there's a broader use case set of use cases you can apply it to. You can apply it on your customer journey. You can use it, infuse it in the call center to improve the customer service experience. Uh, we are also thinking about a privacy chatbot, which can actually look at all of the privacy guidelines and ensure that we are that it is that we can go through several pages and pages and summarize some of those results. So that is another use case. So we have several such use cases across the organization that we are looking at that we can take to delivery and be able to help our customers.
That's awesome. And what is sort of an estimated timeline where you see some of these technologies and some of these use cases being in production? Is it going to be this fiscal year for GM Financial? And what are the if there are extensions, what reasons would you think that these initiatives won't hit production?
Yeah, actually, technology, as you know, especially in Gen AI, is evolving very fast, right? And it changes every week, mostly, right? So, one of the things that we are doing is we are being very deliberate about making the decision on buy versus the build. And we are focusing on so many different things that we already own, such as environments like Databricks. We own Databricks, we are implementing Databricks for various reasons for our data cloud solutions, modernizing our data platforms. Databricks has a lot of inbuilt Gen AI features such as Genie, AI BI. We are piloting those. We use a lot of the Gen AI assistants that are built into various products like Coupa and others. Um, we are being very deliberate in our Gen AI use cases, bringing that to production, rolling it out, and definitely taking a very guarded approach because we also want to make sure we are getting accurate results and accurate predictions from it. So being very deliberate and taking a slow pace to it is what something that we have adopted.
Makes sense. Earlier in the conversation, you touched upon the transformation that you're carrying out, which is, you've decided to go and build, a data cloud. That journey is now 2 years into the program. I would just like to understand, for everybody's understanding, I'm sure that many leaders are thinking about this transformation. Um, and what have been the key lessons, etc. But before we go to lessons, I would like to understand, what were the key drivers, what were the key KPIs that you wanted to move for GM in general, that you decided to undertake this massive transformation program.
So one of the things that we looked at early on, and the data cloud MVP started even before my tenure at Jim Financial, but some of the key drivers was um, we want to be able to innovate, and we can't innovate if we are on prem. We want to improve developer productivity. We can't do that with the trajectory of legacy platforms we have. Um, we cannot bring products, data products, and solutions to the market faster because our platforms are not scalable enough, right? At that time, GenAI was not even a concept, but our business case was built heavily on machine learning operations and how many experiments can we produce and bring to the marketplace that can help us increase revenues, improve operational efficiencies, and impact our company's bottom line. So, in the last year, we built a business case and we quantified our benefits based on how much labor savings we will have, how much non labor savings we will have by deprecating legacy platforms, by exiting data centers, by building a great case for innovation and saying if we had our data scalable, extensible, and on cloud technologies, how quickly can we innovate? How quickly can we bring products to the marketplace and make an impact for GMF and impact the company's bottom line? So that was one of the biggest drivers that helped us sell our business case and get funding to continue the journey.
And what have been the results so far and learnings, if you might want to share some of the learnings, some of the pitfalls, how people should think about this transformation, anything that you can share around that.
I would say definitely if you are thinking about going for a data cloud modernization journey, you cannot operate in a waterfall fashion. So uh, org- organizing your team, making sure that your team is set for success with a pod approach and well sustainable framework with agile methodologies is key to the success of your program. So that has been one of our biggest learnings. In the last year, we took our organization from being waterfall to being an agile uh, organization. It wasn't an easy feat with taking 300 people through this journey, but we were very successful with it. The second thing is you have to make sure you're bringing your customers along on the journey. So helping them adopt the new technologies that are on the cloud, setting up office hours, helping to skill up your workforce, that is your customers and your employees, is extremely important. And we started on that journey early on. And we also try to create a culture of learning by creating communities, hackathons, certifications, you know, uh, giving out, rewards and recognition for certification. These are all very important ingredients to a successful digital transformation.
And do you think that these teams, or all of these things that you talked about, people, process, technology, the 300 people, the workforce will get a huge boost with generative AI, but it'll also be an adoption curve. How are you managing that transformation? Because developer productivity is definitely going up. QE processes are improving. A lot of boilerplate code that was written by hand, a lot of that automation is already coming in. How are you seeing the evolution of your workforce in light of the generative AI capabilities that have now hit the market?
seeing that there is a great appetite for innovation that I have never seen before. I think with the fact, obviously, people are still very busy with, you know, the cloud migration and making sure we're meeting our deadlines and delivering to our products, making sure our customers are adopting the cloud. But we have also found that there has been a appetite for innovation we have never seen before. So just in the last year, we had a GenAI hackathon in our company, and we had close to 40 to 50 entries from the business unit on what they thought were use cases that could be, uh, you know, a GenAI use case, right? And several of them are going to production this year. So we plan to have that same environment this year. So we are really encouraging innovation. A lot of our team members have built a lot of agentic AI frameworks to deprecate old technologies and unpack it and move to new technologies like Databricks. So I think this is creating a culture of learning, continuous learning and innovation and excitement, which is actually very positive for the organization. So the case I'm trying to make is, if you are afraid of Gen AI impacting your labor force, don't be, because it actually turns your labor force into more practical and more pragmatic uses, and they'll find more pragmatic uses of their time and really increase productivity across the organization.
Absolutely. I think, all the organizations should start leaning into AI as opposed to, defending against it, because I think this is a huge moment of productivity that can get unlocked across dev, QE, not just, those functions, but also GTM functions, whether it's an analysis of reports, of finding the right set of data. All of these will be positively impacted, and that too in a very short period of time. Um, Very popular question, Latha, for you, and hopefully, the last of a couple. How are you planning to leverage agentic AI? This is something that is top of mind for everyone in the world. I'd just like to get your views. What agents are you building in the next, 6 to 12 months?
Yeah, I can tell you the other day, I mean, this just is very fresh on my mind, is I was at the Gartner's analytics conference, and I saw so many, it's refreshing to see so many companies out there that are using agentic AI to actually help improve operational efficiencies, helping make sure that if you are, say, if you are a company that has a auto service shop, how you can automate all of that and, increase the productivity of your workforce. So it was very refreshing to see that. Uh, I think one of the things that I will speak to, that I feel very passionately about, is we've developed a lot of agentic AI models internally. This is all homegrown, and we are actually experimenting with it at the moment. So we have a SaaS footprint which is pretty extensive across the organization globally, and we have 150 plus scheduled jobs in production, so not counting the unscheduled jobs. And we are actually creating a test bed now where we can unpack the SaaS code and take our customers to different technologies and help them leverage and adopt other newer technologies in the market like Databricks, PySpark, SQL, etc. So some of those are still in testing and beta mode, and I'm very excited about the future because we are doing so many different things today with agentic AI, especially on the developer productivity perspective.
Absolutely, Lata. Last question for you today. Obviously, we'll continue the conversation in a separate, interview. So hopefully, sometime not so far out in the future. But if you were to give the top two pieces of advice to your fellow CDOs across, financial organizations, industries, what would you ask them to focus today so that they are continuously modernizing, adopting AI? What is the mindset advice that you would like to give them?
I would say my advice to everybody would be to not just focus on technology. Technology is just an enabler. I have seen many big implementations fail because you have not looked at the crossroads and the intersection of people, process, and technology. So people process are very important to technology, and that is a success. That is the reason for success for a digital transformation program. Organization change management is very important. People often ignore it, but I think you have to tell the story six different ways before people can understand it. So it's very important to bring your customers along on the journey and make sure that they are bought into the idea. So that is the first one. The second advice I give is innovate, empower your leaders to innovate. Don't hold back on any idea. No idea is a silly idea. And if you fail, fail fast. Learn from your mistakes, move on, right? So that is my advice. That is my two pieces of advice that I would like to give.
Awesome, Lata. Thank you so much. This was great, and I look forward to recording with you again sometime very soon in the future. Thank you, everyone. That was Latha Subramanian, the SVP and CDO at GM Financial. Thank you so much.
Thank you.